Hey everybody, and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about GTA 6. Could it be delayed again? Well, not really, but let's see what all the hubbub is about, shall we? So, yesterday, Mike York, a former Rockstar developer, gave millions of fans a reason to potentially wait longer. When asked about current 2026 release window, he stated he wouldn't be surprised, quote unquote, if the release of GTA 6 were delayed again, this time up to 6 months. Such a delay would push launch back to early 2027. There's been no reaction from Rockstar so far. Now, I think they probably took the most scintillating, the most salacious, the most sexy, if you will, pieces of that interview and sprinkled that in, because let's look at the facts of this. So this guy was speaking to Indy 100 and he said they could delay it again. And he said Rockstar can, quote, do whatever they want. It doesn't matter. If they need to do that, then they'll do it. Okay, that's fair. And then he said, I would not be shocked at all. I don't think it would hurt them or anything. And he's right, because people would just be pissed off, but they would hurry up and wait longer. But the thing is, this guy left the company in 2017. That's almost 10 years ago now. So I feel like he may know like some of the inner workings, because a lot of that stuff doesn't change, but a lot of it does. So I think he's just basing it off his time there. And I think for whatever article they were writing or talking to him about, that was just a way to, bump up the clicks, if you will. Now it is set to be released in November, on the 19th of November. And before, it was originally May. So, they did push it back 6 months once. So they could, if they wanted to. But Rockstar came out and said, guess what? The current release date is still on track. And it insisted upon itself. The upcoming Grand Theft Auto 6 extended look will help grow consumer passion and anticipation for the game. Interesting. So, think about this. This was so much of a kerfuffle. This was so much of a thing that a former employee from almost 10 years ago can say it could happen. And because it's already happened once, the internet gets behind it and starts talking about it. It was all over X or Twitter or however you refer to that particular piece of social media now. And it got to the point that Take-Two and Rockstar Games felt like they needed to respond. They needed to come back and tell everybody, no, everything's fine. Everything's on track. So let's check this IGN article. And it's just like a fluff piece for Take-Two. Take-Two said global excitement as the launch continues to build, a title having, exceptional pre-orders. And it is. It's going to sell like crazy. And I'm sure it'll be a great game. They don't make bad games. But I just think it's interesting that they had to, they felt like they had to respond to this. Think about it. Like if a former employee of, I don't know, any other place mouths off and says something bad, if the employee, I don't know how high up this guy was, but most of the time I think, big giant corporations would just ignore it. They wouldn't even address it. It'd be like a fly around. And I'm sure this Mike York guy is great, and he was a good developer, and I hope he's doing well in whatever he's doing now. But I'm just saying, most of the time, large giant corporations don't really pause or even react when someone talks about them after the fact. So Take-Two had to come out and say, yeah, it's still coming out. And then they've got this extended look thing they're doing in August. or not August, this month, which is, I guess, what, 20 days away at the time of this recording. And it's going to be on Netflix. On Netflix. Think about that. They're doing something to hype the game up on Netflix before the game even comes out. They've not had to do that for any of the other GTA titles. I don't remember they're doing this for hardly any titles. I'm not saying any publicity isn't good publicity. I mean, what was it? Back in the late 80s, early 90s, when Super Mario Brothers 3 came out, they had the Wiz, and that was the big reveal. Like, I think they made the entire game. The entire movie was basically just a tease for them to show you that, hey, we've got a new Super Mario Brothers coming out. Like, here it is. And to, like, hawk Nintendo products. But I mean, every kid went and saw it. I went and saw it. It wasn't a good movie, but I thought it was amazing at the time because I don't know how old I was. And hey, there's a new Super Mario Brothers 3. But I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. And I just wonder if they're a little concerned, even though they've got all the pre-orders, which is fine. We know the game's going to do well, but I think they're still in a little bit of damage control mode, in my opinion, for delaying it the first time. Because think about it. It was originally supposed to come out in May, so that would have been what, like 3 months ago? So if it was out in May, people would have had it, and then, you would have like the usual surge of, I don't know, what I call annual games that come out right around the holidays, right? Like there's always another like Call of Duty, and I think Assassin's Creed's done now, but for a while there was always another Assassin's Creed, and there were like these annual games that always came out right before the holidays, so you could pick them up. Well, now, Rockstar moving it back to where they did. Now they're the holiday rush, right? And they're going to take maybe business away from some of those other studios. Maybe, I don't know. Depends on how many, games people are buying. Because right now, I mean, summer's usually a lull. So we've got, I don't know, like the new Madden, I guess, if people still play that. And then the new basketball, 2K game. So anyway, I think it's very interesting that a former dev can say something, get Twitter all sorts of riled up, and then Rockstar Take-Two has to come out and say, hey, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's on schedule. Please watch our thing on Netflix that we're doing. Everything's going to be all right. So what do you think? Do you think this is any cause for concern? Do you think they were just, using that line from the article to try to boost clicks? Do you think Take-Two was thinking about maybe delaying the game again and then has reined it back in because of, the backlash, if you will? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one.